Greetings everyone, this is Zarin18 and welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today we're doing another shaders showcase, I suppose. We did this last time with Sildur shaders, we're doing it again. With Sildur shaders, in the exact same world I was in for this testing. So, if you guys don't know, I did a Sildur shaders showcase for the Extreme VL type, and it's a very intensive shader pack, but that's not the only one they have. They've got many, and when I mean many, let's look at video settings and shaders. There's a lot, and these are just their vibrant shaders. Their vibrant shaders. I don't exactly know. So there's quite a few things that are in this. So the first step, as always, to get these is to get Optifine. Now you might be wondering, well, why is your intro so quick before, why are you burning through this? There's a lot to discuss. So, the first step is to obviously download Optifine. For any shader pack, you need Optifine for it to work at all, because that's how Optifine is. However, once you get Optifine installed, which I will have linked in the description down below, just like the last one, you can now download shaders. So this is just the Sildur's vibrant shaders. There are other ones that you can use, but this is just the one I'm currently using, and I decided, you know what, let's showcase them all. So you might notice that I have the Extreme Volumetric Lighting, which is what VL stands for, as version 1.281. The rest of them are 1.283. Why is that? So the Extreme VL one I actually downloaded prior to these, so these are new ones, and they just default to the latest ones. But these are compatible with Minecraft Java Edition 1.16.5. I'm not sure about Minecraft Bedrock Edition, so I didn't mention this last time, but for all you Minecraft Bedrock Edition players, I do not know off the top of my head if you can use shaders, and if you can, I don't know if it will accept all shaders. But anyway, so they have 6 different options, and they all are different in one form or another. So I'm currently set to the Extreme Volumetric Lighting, which is their highest end one. And as you guys can see, it looks very bright. Don't look at the sun kind of bright. This is their volumetric lighting, which means a volume will get a set amount of light. I think that's how it works. I don't know off the top of my head, but it's their top end, and it's got a lot of lighting. So this is actually very different from the other ones, but we'll get to those in a minute. So, just for context, I'm doing this in a jungle biome, Minecraft jungle biome, and 1.16.4. Yes, you can go with any place and it'll work, but I'm just using a jungle because this is the test world for that. So, let's go to Options, Video Settings, and Shaders. This is how you access your shaders if you have Optifine and if you've downloaded shaders. Just making sure I didn't press caps lock or anything. So I've got all these. Let's go to Lite. So what you do is technically you could double click, but I just click on it and it's done. Done. You can tell it's very different. It's a lot more blue. So the volumetric lighting one is their top end one, but that doesn't mean it's the only other one. You guys can see that this is not that good. So right now, this is still with this is the same type of shader. It's, well, not quite the same type. It's just a little bit different because this is their Lite variant. And you can tell it's very different. So, first of all, you still get a very nice looking, a very quality looking thing, but it's a lot of shadow, but it's a lot more choppy. The leaves, they're still doing the wavy thing. It's just that shadows seem to be kind of dotted. So, the thing is that this is their low-end ones, and this can run on basically anything, as long as you can, well, not anything, but it can run on low-end systems. This is what I would say would be the good starting point for shaders, if you don't want to go too extreme. So, as you guys can see, these are not very good-looking shades, or shadows, and that's kind of a thing. Yes, they are moving, if choppy would be the correct way to describe it. Now, this is nowhere near, I would personally say, nowhere near as vibrant and as, you know, quality, as much quality as the extreme presets, but this is also the lowest end, so I can expect that. Down here, you can see that the water looks a lot like normal water, unless you get good reflection. It still acts like a mirror, and it still does have a water-like appearance, which, I mean, that's just good for each and every one of them. But it has these stupid shadows around here. As you guys can tell, it's also raining, which it's raining normally. It doesn't do the screen warping effect. Ooh, that like was close. So this is what it's kind of like to be getting rained on in Sildur's Lite. Nothing like the other one, and you don't get the same warping on the screen when you get hit with a raindrop. It's only these like little patches of blurry, like these blurry patches. It's nothing special. So there's that. Let's get back to weather clear. Now that's just with the this is with the light ones. So these are the least powerful, but they're also the easiest to use for really any system, as long as you can manage with these stupid, these very choppy shadows. I think this would technically, it's better and worse than default Minecraft. It's better because you actually get good lighting, but worse because this happens. And it's also the light preset, but at the same time, oh, I've got VSync on, so it's only at 60 FPS, because this monitor is at 60 FPS, but this is low end. It gets much better. So, just for comparison, let's go back to our good old shader thing. Let's go to medium. So this is their their next tier up. And let's get a bit to load. Done. You guys can tell it looks a lot different. So it's now a lot. It's got a lot more lighting to it. I think it's got a little bit more lighting. But the big important thing, the shadows are not choppy. So I would consider medium. I was asking, you see, water actually looks like water instead of just being water like there. Then you have to kind of fly down to get it here. But it looks like water. It looks a lot like water. This is what I would consider to be your middle ground, like the good, like the sweet spot. Light is a good starting point if you don't want super extreme shaders and you don't want to have, or what am I saying? And as I was trying to say, you can. It's a good starting point. The lights vary if you don't have a lot of experience with shaders and you really want to begin with using shaders, or if you don't want to tank your system performance because your system isn't that good. So the medium, I would say, is a good balance of quality and performance. So it's a good, so yes, it does tax your performance a little bit more, but it does definitely look better. If nothing else, if absolutely nothing else, it's not as choppy. So there's that. Actually, let's do the weather rain again, just for demonstration. I'm not doing weather thunder because that doesn't really make much of a difference. So, okay, so now you can see on the screen, you're starting to get warps when you get hit by a raindrop. So that's a lot more realistic. It might be a little bit more painful to manage with instead of just a blurry spot, but at the same time, I prefer it this way. Then again, yes, I know these don't look phenomenal, but that's just Minecraft. I really like Sildur shaders. That's the wrong key. So, that's the medium. And I would say that would be the best one to do if you want to start using more shader power. I would say this is also good, just a sweet spot. But it gets better. So, next up is in shaders. We are now going to go to the high preset. This is their not quite their highest end. Also, it's got high MB. MB means motion blur. We'll get to that in a minute. So let's get to the high. Give it a minute. Done, 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 done. So now, something a little bit different. The shadows now actually move their proper perspective look. That now actually move more, I think. Look closely. Yeah, see, they're moving a little bit. So, that's beneficial because sometimes you can, it looks really nice. Like, see, look at that. It's very subtle, but when you see it, makes it look so much better. So, this basically takes the medium shaders and gives them a little bit of a better shadow aspect. So, yes, a little bit farther out, it's moving a little bit, but that's also because it's trying to move those shadows at such a good distance. It's actually showing you. Actually, no, this is like the trees. So, this is really good. This is how I would say would be your best bet for shaders. If you want to get kind of like the medium, not quite a sweet spot, like a little bit above the sweet spot. So it's kind of like a computer. So it used to be where the AMD Ryzen 5 3600 was your sweet spot. This would be kind of like the Ryzen 7. So a little bit above the sweet spot, but not too much to the point of which you're spending a lot of money for a mitigating amount of performance. This, I think, looks really good, though. Now, the MB one, the motion blur, basically is the same, but it adds motion blur. And I know a lot of people may not like motion blur. I know of several YouTubers, or at least one YouTuber who doesn't like it. But I think it may end up like a really good experience. I've tested all these just to make sure they even work on here. The water still looks like water. Lava still looks like lava. It's a lot more red, though, in the dark. Which I wouldn't say I personally am a huge fan of, but then again, it's better than nothing. Also, the high shaders, I really like this feature. Was it this tree? No, it was this tree. Your shadow now actually looks smooth, so it's not the pixelated one like last time. It's actually now smooth. Also, just so you guys know, I am using a different skin. I was using my Infinity Warriors skin, but now I'm using my Titan skin. And the reason behind that is because I just decided, you know what, let's do something a little bit different. So no, I did not make this skin entirely, but I did change it up a little bit. So, that's the medium one. No, this is the high one. Now, there's still a lot of blue, which I guess this is just for the jungle, but I really am not the biggest fan of it. So, next up is motion blur one, which I know is going to probably hit a lot of people. High MB. So there's a huge difference in this one. Not in the sense of, like, actually looking around. Like, yes, it does have the same look as before, but let's just pan. See how smooth that is? That's because because it's adding motion blur. So this is blurry instead of like choppier. It's a lot. It's blurrier. I'm not personally the biggest fan of it. Yes, I know a lot of people are like, well, why do you people not like motion blur? Because sometimes motion blur is kind of a pain. In like first-person shooters, it can throw you off. But in Minecraft, I think it looks a lot better. Now, yes, this is the high motion blur preset, or form, however you want to put it. So, no, it is not the extreme volumetric, but I still think it looks really good. Also, just look at that. That looks beautiful. If you don't think that looks beautiful, like this sunset looks beautiful, I don't know what to tell you. Also, minor viewer discretion. If you are photosensitive, like if you're photosensitive to bright light, I highly apologize. I hope you aren't, but if you are, just warning you because it's about to get a lot brighter. So it's the same as the high format, so not anything much different. I just set it back to day because I don't want it to be night just yet. Actually, we didn't show it on night, so I have to go all the way back to light form, the low end, and then go time set night, and then let it clear. So, one of the things is that, oh wow, that's the sun. So this is a sunset with the light one, not the hefty one. So you can still see it because it's still within chunks. Then it disappears. And it's gone. And now here's the moon. You can definitely tell the clouds are really pixelated the closer you are. Like, farther away, these look nice, but up there, it's like someone smeared it on. But I'm not hating on the shaders. These are good shaders if you have nothing else to use. Lava really stands out, which I guess it seems normal. The stars look a lot different, so instead of it being, you know, just squares and stuff, it's actually almost circular. I would say this would be as far as, like, circular. It's different sizes with the moon and the pixelated clouds. So that's with this one, the light preset. So let's go to medium. Okay. Not as bad. It's still a little bit, like, it kind of dims the farther away it is, but I still think it looks better. So this is also in the night time, so you know, you could show this yourself if you want to. You can show it to yourself, but this is just a showcase. I am not going to be showing you all the different features like reflections and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of for you guys to look through. Okay, so there's that one. Let's go to the high, which didn't do anything. Yeah, so I think the high and medium are really close to each other in normal terms. They do look a little bit different, though. Like, the high just has higher quality. So, as I said before, this is like the Ryzen 7 compared to the Ryzen 5. The Ryzen 5 is your sweet spot. The Ryzen 7, however, is a little bit better than the sweet spot, but it's not too expensive, and it's not too ridiculous. Alright. And we are back. Let me get to video settings, shaders, and we're back to high motion blur type, which I still think looks really nice. Oh, you can do the thing where it's like, you see those little streaks? It's like the super sped up, those photos where you can see the stars just streak across the sky from a certain point. This is what it kind of looks like. Or kind of like I'm looking at up like a constellation or something. Moon being as bright as ever. The moon reflecting down on here. The motion blur one, I'm pretty sure this just adds motion blur. I don't think there's really anything else that adds in. Got a spider over there. And got lava there still. So this is the motion blur type of the high preset. So let's set the day. And let's go to the next tier. Now this is just before the extreme one, the extreme VL. As you guys can see, it's a lot more vibrant. Like, in that direction, it is really bright. You can see the vibrancy in the glow. Like, it looks really bright. And this is just the high. I would consider this to be kind of like the high / high motion blur. I would consider those to be like their best bet. The extreme and stuff like that is only if you want a better experience for yourself, or get closer to like RTX real-time ray tracing. You guys don't know what that is. It basically just adds real-time lighting effects and shading to the game that doesn't have it. So Minecraft shaders, however, they've really come a long way, though. And this is just the extreme. I say just the extreme because there is an extreme volumetric lighting, which I'll show you right now. But as I said before, I would consider the, yeah, see, so this looks a lot more misty, but it still is really bright. Now, the idea behind these is that this is not to give you an idea of, ooh, what sort of shaders should I go against? No, this just gives you an idea of what kinds of shaders I want to use in the future at some point in time, and what kind of shaders you could also use. So, but as I said before, the high, I would say, is your best bet for the best mix of lighting and not a lot of performance taxing. Extreme and extreme volumetric lighting, especially the volumetric lighting one, that's only if you need a better experience. And I would even go as far as to say the volumetric lighting one is next to kind of ridiculous. Like, this is beyond what a normal person should need. It's also the shadows, though. Disappointing. And I guess we should end that off, so let me just set the limit clear before I get struck by lightning. I think that's about it for this shader thing. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to watch my other more in-depth variant of the volumetric lighting format. All the other ones are basically the same. I just showed off the volumetric lighting one because I like that one the most. And I will have the links for not only this shader pack, not for this shader pack, not just the volumetric lighting one, but actually the entire shebang, all the way from light to extreme volumetric, in the link in the description below, as well as a download for Optifine. So you can thank me for that later. I think that's about it. So as I said before, if you do enjoy this video, please be sure to watch my other one, and you know, just consider subscribing. I'm not pushing it. I don't really need you to subscribe. I'm not one of those people who's gonna force someone to subscribe, but it's your personal opinion, and I do appreciate it if you do so. And while you're at it, watch my other videos, my other 3 Minecraft videos that are currently out, which is my survival realms. Hopefully we start using shaders in those soon. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll definitely see you in the next one. See you guys another time.